What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here this evening, and I'm here to do my Week 8 NFL predictions. Now, Week 7 just ended with the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. So our record, finishing up Week 7, is an impressive 10-5 record. Now, we're coming off our first losing record last week with a 5-9 record, and we came into this week with our first winning record since then. So I'm very happy we got back on the winning track, and we're now on a 1-week winning streak. So hopefully in this video I'll make it 2 weeks. Hopefully. Now, before I begin, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching all the videos up until this point, especially last week's NFL predictions. We had over 478 views on that video. You guys super kicked that like button 12 times, and you guys representing your teams and your picks in 29 comments. So again, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching last week's NFL predictions and all the videos we put up last week on the channel. So again, thank you guys so very much, and hopefully in this video you guys will do the same, supporting the channel by watching the video, super kicking that like button, and representing your team and your NFL picks this week in the comments section below. Now, we are at 200 plus subscribers on the channel, so I do want to thank you guys so very much for supporting. To new subscribers, thank you guys for super kicking that subscribe button, and welcome to the Dangerous Lines. It's absolutely great to have you guys here. And to my longtime subscribers, thank you guys for sticking around, supporting the channel, and as always, killing it. Now, if this is your first time watching my channel as a first time viewer, and this is your first video, boy, you picked a good one if you're an NFL football fan like myself. Welcome to the Dangerous Lions. I am JT Dangerously, and welcome to the club, because this club is whoop whoop. Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these predictions. Now, we got 6 buys this week, so if you have these teams, players on your fantasy team, definitely have some good replacements for them for your Week 8 fantasy matchup. Now, the buys are for the Arizona Cardinals, which they're going to need because Carson Palmer's out for 8 weeks with a broken arm. The Green Bay Packers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Red Hot Los Angeles Rams, the New York Giants, and the Tennessee Titans. So if you have any players on any of those teams, definitely switch them out and have available and good players for your Week 8 fantasy matchup. Now, other than that, let's start off with the first matchup. It is on Thursday Night Football. It is the Miami Dolphins heading to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Miami Dolphins are coming off a very gritty and tough win over the New York Jets on Sunday. They looked good, but they also lost a key player. They lost Jay Cutler with some broken ribs, so he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Yes! 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 Thank God! The best thing that can ever happen to the Dolphins is Jay Cutler being out, and now it's time for Matt Moore. He has been the starter coming from me, and I really think the Dolphins made a mistake in getting Jay Cutler and not sticking with Matt Moore, their starter, because it's finally time to show the Miami Dolphins that Matt Moore is the starter for the Miami Dolphins. They looked good against the Jets. Jay Ajayi had a pretty solid game. But Jay Cutler being out now for 2 to 3 weeks with some cracked ribs is the best thing the Dolphins needed right now, because we need somebody else other than Cutler. Cutler had a great game, but I'd rather have Matt Moore there. Then on the other side, you have the Baltimore Ravens are coming off a very tough loss against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. They did not look good. It's just the same story with the Ravens this season. One week they're good, one week they're not good, and it's really hard to pick for them or against them because you don't know which Baltimore team is going to show up. So coming from me in this matchup on Thursday Night Football, I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins to win. I think Matt Moore, starting quarterback this week, I think he'll get it done. He'll make the team click with him instead of Jay Cutler, and hopefully Jay Cutler heals up from this injury and stays on the bench because he deserves to be on the bench, and Matt Moore should be starting for the Miami Dolphins. So coming from me on Thursday Night Football, I'm taking the Miami Dolphins to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. Fins up. And now the Sunday slate, which starts once again early at 6:30 here on the West Coast and 9:30 on the East Coast. Of course, being in London, it is the Minnesota Vikings facing the winless Cleveland Browns. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are coming off a huge win against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. They looked good. Defense was just killing the Baltimore Ravens offense for sure. Case Keenum did not have his great game, but Latavius Murray had a game for the ages for the Minnesota Vikings, over 100 yards and a touchdown. They looked good, and they also got good news that Teddy Bridgewater will be soon be coming back, their number one quarterback. So the Vikings are definitely getting back on track, especially with the Packers losing Aaron Rodgers. I think the Vikings are poised to win this year's NFC North. Then on the other side, you have the Cleveland Browns, who are coming off another tough loss in overtime to the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. They're just not looking good right now. DeShone Kizer did not have a great game. He got benched after 2 picks. They just did not look good. And they also lost their Iron Man, Joe Thomas, with a triceps injury. And that ended his multiple games played streak that he had. The Iron Man of the NFL, Joe Thomas, definitely are hurting the Browns right now. So coming from me in this matchup in London, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to continue the losing streak of the winless Cleveland Browns. And now the 10 a.m. games, which start at 10 a.m. here on the West Coast and 1 p.m. at the East Coast. Now, starting off with the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons heading to East Rutherford to face the New York Jets. Now, the Atlanta Falcons are coming off a beatdown by my New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. They did not look good. They are absolutely slumping right now at the worst possible time in the NFC South. So the Atlanta Falcons are looking to get back on track. Then on the other side, you have the New York Jets are coming off a very tough loss to the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. They had a great chance to win that game, but of course McCown got picked off by Miami in the last couple of seconds, and then Miami took advantage of that. So the Jets, again, I don't like the Jets, but they are a lot better than I thought. They're a lot better than the Giants, that's for sure. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to rebound and bounce back and defeat the New York Jets. And now the next matchup, an NFC South battle featuring the Carolina Panthers heading to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the Carolina Panthers are coming off the big upset of Week 7 where they lost to the Chicago Bears. Cam Newton got picked off twice by the same player, and the same player ran it back for touchdowns. So this Carolina Panthers team coming off that loss to Philadelphia in Week 6 did not look good in Week 7 against the Bears. I mean, they just looked like shit this week. Then on the other side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a very tough loss to the Buffalo Bills. Again, Jameis Winston did play pretty well, even though he has an AC sprain in his throwing shoulder. He had a great game. Mike Evans had a great game. Deshaun Jackson had a pretty solid game. Dougie Martin had a pretty solid game in a losing effort. But they looked good. But coming from me, Tampa Bay has been maybe the surprising disappointment this season. I really thought they were going to win a lot more games that they have won this season. They've lost more games than I really did not expect. So I'm really hoping they can get back on track. So coming from me in this NFC South battle, I am taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to defeat the Carolina Panthers. And now the next matchup, it is the winless San Francisco 49ers heading to Philly to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the San Francisco 49ers are coming off a blowout loss at home against the Dallas Cowboys, which they only scored 10 points, and the Dallas Cowboys put a Forderburger on their asses. So this Niners team is definitely going to be looking to get the number 1 draft pick in next year's NFL draft. It's like they don't care anymore. It's like their quarterback C.J. Bethel didn't do too bad, but it was against a great Cowboys defense. So I don't know what to say to Niner fans, but it's just not looking good. It's just pretty sad that they just want to just get that number 1 draft pick as fast as they can. And then on the other side, the Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a big win on Monday Night Football tonight over the Washington Redskins. They're flying high in the NFC East. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this Eagles team is going to the Super Bowl." Slow your roll. It's only Week 8. We'll talk. Eagles are not Super Bowl bound yet. They are first place in the NFC East, but they're not going to the Super Bowl like now. It's only week 8, people. So coming from me in this matchup, I think this is a no-brainer. I'm not going to pick again. I'm not going to pick against I'm not going to pick a winless team to beat a pretty damn good team. So I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to defeat the winless San Francisco 49ers. And now the next matchup is the Chicago Bears heading to the Superdome to face the New Orleans Saints. Now the Chicago Bears are coming off another huge win this season over the Carolina Panthers. Mitchell Trubisky had a great game, even though his defense got it done for him. But this Bears team is surprising a lot of people. They've beaten Baltimore, they nearly beat the Falcons, and now they've beaten the Carolina Panthers. But now this is their biggest test this week. But the Bears are surprisingly getting better with Mitchell Trubisky as quarterback, which like I said, Mitchell Trubisky is the starter, and it's always going to be Trubisky business. And then on the other side, you have the New Orleans Saints, who are coming off a very big win over the Green Bay Packers on the road. They looked good. Willie Snead did not play in that game, so they went with, of course, Kamara, Michael Thomas. Drew Brees had a pretty okay game. He did throw 2 picks in that game, so he was a little bit sluggish for sure because it's on the road and it was a very terrible weather in Green Bay. So coming from me in this matchup, man, this one's really tough. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints to defeat the Chicago Bears. And now the next matchup is the Los Angeles Chargers heading to Foxborough to face my New England Patriots. Now the Chargers are coming off a huge win against the Denver Broncos on Sunday, blowing them out, shutting them out for the first time since 1992. Phillip Rivers had a great game. Their defense had a great game, getting to Trevor Siemian multiple times. They got a punt return touchdown. They definitely looked good against the Denver Broncos, an AFC West rival. So they're coming in looking to poise another upset. Then on the other side, you have my New England Patriots are coming off a blowout win over the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football. They looked good. Brady had a pretty terrific day. Their defense actually kept Atlanta under 10 points. They only gave up the 7 points in the end of the fourth quarter, and that's it. They looked good. The defense actually woke up in a big-time game against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday night. So coming from me in this matchup, again, Chargers are a very surprising team, but you already know me. I'm going to be taking my New England Patriots to defeat the Los Angeles Chargers. And now the next matchup, it is the Oakland Raiders heading to Orchard Park to face the Buffalo Bills. Now the Oakland Raiders are coming off a huge win on Thursday Night Football over the Kansas City Chiefs on a last-second touchdown by Derek Carr. To say the Raiders got back on track against the Chiefs is an understatement. Derek Carr had over 200-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. Amari Cooper had over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Amari Cooper finally woke up. Michael Crabtree had a great game. But this Raiders team definitely got back on track on Thursday over an AFC West rival Kansas City Chiefs, in which they never beaten the Kansas City Chiefs before with Derek Carr. So that was a huge win for the Oakland Raiders, and they definitely needed that. Then on the other side, you have the Buffalo Bills, who are coming off a very tough and gritty win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. Coming off a bye, they got a win. Tyrod Taylor had a great game. Shady McCoy had a good game, and their defense got it done. So coming from me in this matchup, man, this one's really tough. I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders to win. I just think that this Oakland team definitely woke up in that Kansas City game on Thursday Night Football, and I think they're going to continue the winning ways and maybe and hopefully win the AFC West. So coming from me, I'm taking the Oakland Raiders to defeat the Buffalo Bills. And now the next matchup is the Indianapolis Colts heading to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Indianapolis Colts are coming off a shutout loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They did not look good. Offense did nothing in that game. Jacoby Brissett looked not good, and I really think now they're just waiting to get Andrew Luck back in the lineup, and he can come at any time, even if their record is bad this season. They're looking to get Andrew Luck back on the field. So it's a matter of time before they get Andrew Luck back for the Colts. Then on the other side, you have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off a very tough loss to the Steelers on Sunday. They did not look good. They were down late in that game. A.J. Green did have a big-time touchdown in that game. Andy Dalton had a great game, but the defense just got smothered and just destroyed by Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So coming from me in this matchup, man, this one's really tough. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to defeat the Indianapolis Colts. And now the next matchup is the Houston Texans heading to CenturyLink to face my second favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks. Now the Houston Texans are coming off a bye, so they're going to be rested. Deshaun Watson, the rookie sensation this season in this NFL season, is looking to win, become the first NFL rookie to win at CenturyLink Field in history. So this kid is having one hell of a season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Rookie of the Year, because with Will Fuller there now, Will Fuller the fifth returning, DeAndre Hopkins, another Clemson alum. This Texans team is good. Of course, without J.J. Watt at defense, definitely going to hurt them. But I would never count out this Houston Texans team. With the Houston Astros being in the World Series this year, this Houston team is definitely riding high right now. Then on the other side, you have the Seattle Seahawks are coming off a huge win on the road against the New York Giants. They got it done in that game. Russell Wilson had a great game. Their offensive line definitely protected them as much as they could, which was good. Their running game is still suspect, but Dougie Baldwin had a big-time touchdown. Jimmy Graham had a big-time touchdown. They even had a little trickery play to go up 20-7. So this Seahawks team is definitely getting back on track, which is good. So coming from me in this matchup, and this one's going to be a really, really tough matchup because you got Deshaun Watson against the 12. It's going to be, this is maybe his biggest test. If he can, this is definitely Deshaun Watson's biggest test as an NFL quarterback to face in a very elite defense like the Legion of Boom. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Houston Texans in a very close matchup. And now the next matchup, an NFC East battle featuring the Dallas Cowboys heading to Landover to face the Washington Redskins. Now the Dallas Cowboys are coming off a complete destruction of the winless San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, putting up 40 points on them. Zeke the Freak had a fantastic game on the ground. Dak Prescott had a great game, and of course with this whole suspension thing being lifted, it looks like Zeke the Freak will be playing in this game as well. So that's got to make you Cowboys fans really happy to have Zeke the Freak in that game, in every game this season. Then on the other side, you have the Washington Redskins who are coming off a very tough loss tonight on Monday Night Football over the Philadelphia Eagles. They just did not look good against a very, very good Eagles offense and defense. So they're looking to get back on track. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's really tough. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to defeat the Washington Redskins. And now the Sunday night matchup featuring the Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Ford Field to face the Detroit Lions. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a huge win over the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. Ben Roethlisberger had a great game. Le'Veon Bell had another great big-time game. And there's a great wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers that has done some of the great celebrations in the NFL this year. His name is Juju. If you see his touchdown celebrations, are always interesting. I think his first one was a Kamehameha. It was great. Some of his great touchdown celebrations. Definitely look out for that kid Juju at the wide receiving position at Pittsburgh. T.J. Watt had a great game. He's definitely going to be off. He's going to be definitely defensive rookie of the year if he's not careful. This Steelers team is definitely getting back on track. Then on the other side, you have the Detroit Lions are coming off a bye, so they're going to be healthy. Matthew Stafford looking to get back on track after their loss in Week 6. They're definitely looking to get back on track, especially at home and on prime time. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. I just think the 3Bs are back on charge. I really do think they are going to win the AFC North because Baltimore's not good, Cincinnati's not good, and Cleveland's winless. So coming from me in this matchup on Sunday Night Football, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to defeat the Detroit Lions. And now the Monday night matchup that goes against, of course, Monday Night Raw and, of course, the World Series. And going into Halloween on Tuesday, we have an AFC West battle featuring the Denver Broncos heading to Arrowhead to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Denver Broncos are coming off an embarrassing loss on the road, getting shut out for the first time since '92 over the Los Angeles Chargers. Trevor Siemian was just getting bullied by that Los Angeles Chargers defense. Emmanuel Sanders did not play in that game, so that definitely hindered them for sure. Then on the other side, you have the Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a very tough loss in the fourth quarter against the Oakland Raiders on Thursday Night Football. They had that game wrapped up, but multiple penalties at the goal line cost them that game. Alex Smith did have a great game. Kelsey had a great game, but the penalties on defense killed them in the fourth quarter, and that ultimately lost them that game. So coming from me in this matchup on Monday Night Football, after what Denver did to me on Sunday, there's no way I'm picking them this week. It's at Arrowhead. That crowd's going to be loud. They're definitely going to be looking to get some payback after what happened on Thursday. So coming from me, I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs to defeat the Denver Broncos. And those are my Week 8 NFL predictions. I hope you guys did enjoy these predictions this week. Comment below, who do you have winning all of these matchups this week? As always, represent your team in the comment section below. As always, if you want to put your picks up in the comment section, by all means, let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like the video, like the comment, and of course, reply right back to you, because comments are absolutely always welcome on this channel. And I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this NFL predictions this week. Before you go, you can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button to become part of this bigger and dangerous Alliance. I will see you guys next week for 3 big videos. Later days and peace.